Republican of Colorado. You just came from the hearing. Before we get to that, you announced some big news. You're leaving Congress at the end of next week.
I am, yes. I'm resigning my seat and creating a vacancy in my district.
Why?
Well, everywhere I go in Colorado, Dana, I hear that people are not happy with Trump and they're not happy with Biden. And I think we need to change our electoral laws here. And I have a passion for that, and I'm going to leave, and I'm going to find the right organization to join, and I'm going to start working on that issue. We have to have better candidates up and down the ballot, not just president, but Senate, House, local offices. We've got to find better ways to elect candidates and bring America together.
You already had announced that you were going to not run for re-election. Why leave now and leave a vacancy in an already very narrow majority for your party?
Yeah, because to me, it's important to get in the mix of this election cycle and start talking about the issues that people recognize are such a problem right now.
You know, my colleague Melanie Zanona is reporting that there is such tension among House Republicans that many of them aren't even going to a retreat that's going to happen at the end of this week. Is that tension part of why you're leaving so abruptly?
I think this place is dysfunctional. For example, I am the number 3rd ranking member of the Judiciary Committee. I haven't even asked my questions yet. 40, 50 people have gone before me.
But that could be personal.
It could be personal, but a lot of this is personal, and that's the problem. Instead of having decorum, instead of operating in a professional manner, this place has just evolved into this bickering and nonsense, and not really doing the job for the American people.
How much of the fact that you are leaving March 22nd, next Friday, how much does that have to do with the fact that Trump is the presumptive nominee and you're not exactly a fan?
Well, I don't think whether he was the nominee or not, I think our system is broken in how we choose candidates, and I want to get involved in that process.
Some breaking news here that also will have massive implications for Lauren Boebert. So first off, Republican Congressman Ken Buck has decided to resign from Congress effective March 22nd, 2024. Here's that moment.
The Honorable the Speaker, House of Representatives, sir. I hereby submit my resignation effective at the end of the calendar day on March 22, 2024 as a United States Representative for the 4th District of Colorado. Enclosed is a letter I submitted to Governor Jared Polis of Colorado. It has been an honor and privilege to serve the people of Colorado and to serve with you and other great members of Congress. Signed sincerely, Ken Buck, Member of Congress.
Now, Ken Buck, who, to be clear, is a very, very conservative lawmaker from Colorado's 4th Congressional District, has basically become a persona non grata in the GOP thanks to his unwillingness to toe the party line as far as January 6th and Trump's election subversion are concerned.
Particularly Congress, what's made it so difficult?
You really need me to say that. You need me to explain what's so difficult about this case. We've taken impeachment and we've made it as a social media issue as opposed to a constitutional concept. This place just keeps going down here, and I don't need to spend my time here. There are a lot of things that went into the decision, but really we're at a time in American politics that I am not going to lie on behalf of my presidential candidate, on behalf of my party. And I'm very sad that others in my party have taken the position that as long as we get the White House, it doesn't really matter what we say.
Now, here's how this impacts Lauren Boebert. Buck represents Colorado's 4th Congressional District. Boebert currently represents Colorado's 3rd Congressional District. But you'll remember that last cycle, she only won her race by the closest margin in the entire House, just over 500 votes. And Adam Frisch, her Democratic opponent, has even more name recognition now and even more money behind him now. And so Boebert, not wanting to leave things up to chance, announced earlier this year that she would run in the 4th District instead of the 3rd because she thinks she'll have a better chance at winning. And of course, for these Republicans, that's really what this is all about. But because of Buck's early departure, now there will be a special election to fill his seat, and Boebert can't run in that special election without first resigning her current seat in Colorado's 3rd Congressional District. The candidates for the special election will be chosen by a vacancy committee. Now, if Boebert doesn't resign, then she'll eventually be going up against whoever wins that special election, and that person will be a new incumbent congressperson with all of the advantages of the incumbency. But on the flip side, if she does resign from Congress and is selected by the vacancy committee to run in the special election, then not only do Republicans lose Ken Buck in Colorado's 4th Congressional District, but they'll also lose Lauren Boebert in Colorado's 3rd Congressional District, and their majority in the House will shrink even more. Already, they can afford to just lose 2 members to pass legislation. That's it. A Boebert resignation would make that margin even smaller, which is a problem for Mike Johnson and his already disastrous House majority. And let's be clear, Buck did this on purpose. Just based on those clips you saw, you can see how disgusted he is with his own party having contracted every ounce of dignity they had in exchange for fealty to Donald Trump. And if he's tired of the circus, then he must really be exhausted with its ringleader, Lauren Boebert. Remember, Buck had already announced that he wouldn't run again next cycle, but this decision is his only shot at attempting to ice Lauren Boebert out of a safe Republican seat, the same seat that he's occupied for years. It was an intentional effort to stave off the inevitable descent of today's GOP into the brainless cult of personality that it is. The larger effort will ultimately prove futile, but perhaps Ken Buck will be successful in at least ensuring that one MAGA lunatic no longer sullies the halls of Congress. Plus, that'll give her more time to enjoy her true passion, musicals. Now, I will say this, while I understand that the Ken Bucks and Liz Cheneys and Adam Kinzingers and Mitt Romneys likely have a pretty bad time in Congress sitting among colleagues who despise them, the fact is that when these people leave, they inevitably get replaced by someone who will toe the party line, and that makes the entire situation worse in the end. And look, that's not to say that these anti-Trump Republicans should be forced to show up to their own personal hell every day just to act as a bulwark against their insane colleagues, because God knows I wouldn't want to go to work every day to try and get anything done with Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, but it's a problem that any Republicans having the courage to speak out will ultimately just mean that they'll eventually make way for someone who would never speak out. Even if Ken Buck is able to keep his seat away from Boebert, something tells me that whoever takes his place will be just as bad, and there really is no way out of that. Except, of course, for Democrats to relegate them to the minority by winning with such great numbers that Republicans eventually realize that hitching themselves to the wagon that is Donald Trump is a losing proposition. That's how some normalcy returns to government, by showing how utterly non-viable the MAGA agenda is in elections. If Republicans only lose by a fraction of a percent, or God forbid even win, then they will barrel ahead on the same path. It'll likely even get worse, and so the only solution here is to deliver such a repudiation to Trumpism that it is impossible for anyone to take any lesson other than the fact that his agenda is pure kryptonite at the ballot box. That's our job, and we all have a responsibility to make sure that we see it through and spread that message between now and November. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on this screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.